nation. It's a kind of a family. Wherever I roam, up and way home, that's where I long to be. I'm a member of a Red Sox nation. It's a kind of insanity. Yeah, I live and die with Red Sox pride for eternity. I fake a smile November until opening day. Suffering baseball withdrawal around the clock. When April comes, hey, meet me down on Yankee Way. That's when Red Sox Nation starts to rock.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 65 of the Avid Boston Podcast, presented by AVIDBOSTON.com. There actually is no Periscope broadcast, so you guys have obviously found us on either SoundCloud or iTunes. If you haven't checked out iHeartRadio, Spreaker, YouTube, Player FM, those are also some other viable options to find the podcast as well. So, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Terry Cushman, and we'll be joined by my co-hosts momentarily. Red Sox take 2 out of 3 and continue their winning trends against the Detroit Tigers. And next up is the Baltimore Orioles. So if we do not sweep them, shame on us. They do not have Manny Machado any longer. So no reason not to, especially where we've swept them at least once already. So joining me, as always, my co-host, Dave Kwiatkowski. Dave, how are you?
I'm doing well, Terry. How are you?
Not too bad. Good to have be back in the swing of things.
Yeah, back to a normal series after a nice little break, and it looked good for David Price, who started out the series. He got back on the right side of things as the Red Sox staff pitches a combined shutout, 1-0 win, which is, very nice to see when you come back from the break. That pitching is sharp. In Game 2, we actually got shut out by Fiers, who has had a really good year, very decent year, and he is being scouted by the Red Sox. He could possibly be in a Red Sox uniform come trade deadline for us. And today, Chris Sale continues to be the best player in baseball, the new Cy Young candidate out of the AL for sure. Had another great game, 6 innings, just over 100 pitches, and the Red Sox win big as we get home runs from JBJ and a triple from Benintendi.
Yeah, it was a nice turnaround. The bats were pretty quiet through the first 2 games, and I mean, you could easily make the case how we could have lost 2 out of 3. If the Price game didn't go well. If he left one over the plate and they hit a 2-run homer, the bullpen just didn't hold up or whatever. But and there wouldn't be any reason to panic, if we did come out of this with only 1 win. But at least the bats are, heating up today, and I don't see why we won't have a strong series offensively and pitching-wise against Baltimore.
Yeah, Detroit's a big ballpark. JBJ hit, I think I saw a stat today on Twitter, 750 feet of fly balls going into Game 3, and had no hits because they kept popping out. Anywhere else, they're probably home runs. He got a hold of one today, didn't miss it. So the bats a little less quiet, but there are a lot of quality balls hit, a lot of barreled bats.
I'll tell you what, that ballpark is monstrous. It must be one of the biggest parks, the least home run friendly parks in Major League Baseball, and I have a lot more respect for Justin Verlander now that he's pitching still pretty dominantly in Houston, which probably is a more home run friendly park. Yeah. So he's pitched well, and no one will ever be able to say that his numbers are good because he pitched most of his career in Comerica. So, I don't know, just an observation I made throughout the series. Also joining us tonight, as he often does. You can find him on Twitter at Cap Hartsfield. He is one half of the Double Coverage podcast. Austin Hartsfield, how are you?
Hey Terry, what's going on?
Hey, not too much. So, what are your thoughts as we wrap up the month of July here?
We should be excited. We have 70 wins. Nobody else has 70 wins yet, and unfortunately, the Yankees escaped Jacob deGrom tonight.
They did, and was there any word when that would be made up?
I don't know. It's going to wind up probably being another doubleheader, which has been good so far. Considering I don't think the Yankees have swept a doubleheader yet this season. So it's nice to see that. You know, it shouldn't affect the standings too much as we kind of caught up and kind of even things out there.
So wait, there's a game tomorrow then, or no?
Is it early? They're playing Tampa tomorrow.
Okay, so there just has to be a makeup game then. I don't think, unless another Mets-Yankees game got rained out, right?
Unless they have another Mets-Yankees game, which they could just make it a doubleheader. I don't know if they do though.
Oh, I don't think they do. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
but I mean that's like the most minor makeup game ever because I mean they can walk to each other's stadiums for crying out loud. So it's just a bummer that I guess they may not have to face DeGrom next time.
So. I know this is later in the show, but I'm not happy about who's starting on Tuesday.
I didn't even know he was till I pulled those up. Drew Pomeranz for the listening audience.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. So he's back. I mean, hey, the last guy that came from Pawtucket, has been good. Thornburg's back; he's okay. I was kind of hoping I'd see Brandon Phillips before Drew Pomeranz. Yeah, I think we all were at some point. But I mean, this is as good as a time as any for Pomeranz to get a look. We got I don't know. I'm not going to over exaggerate, but 9 starting pitchers out. It feels like. Yeah. So when you got that many out. You got a guy that, we did trade a top prospect for, so I give him at least a little bit of a chance here. And, he could surprise us and just pitch decent. He doesn't have to pitch great, and a good time to do it. I mean, against Baltimore, who, like Terry said, doesn't have Manny Machado anymore, might not have Zach Britton or Jones, by
Brock
Tuesday and Brock. So you never know. A lot of trades coming on with just over, 10 days till the deadline, I think?
I do get a sense of a little bit of panic there, being behind that decision because Johnson doesn't, he pitched okay. A couple of those runs were unearned in the bullpen.
He actually looked really good.
Yeah.
He did look good. He got into trouble, like you said, the unearned and just extra pitches. But he's a good 4 innings for you, maybe 5. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's barely a 5. I mean, he tops out at 88 to 90, but he's good enough for now. You just don't want other rotations to start getting second looks at him and whatnot. But with Pomeranz, and just to be clear, I mean, I'm not as low on him as you guys probably are. I don't think he's going to be as good as he was last year necessarily, but I don't think he's going to be quite as terrible as he was the first couple of months this year. And when he was struggling, I know he gave up 4 home runs in 1 inning, Dylan Bundy style, if you will. But
we get this on Wednesday.
I got the sense that it really was just a mechanical issue, and once they figured it out, it would be a quick fix. I just would have liked to have seen, maybe one more start at least, just to be sure that he is ready to come back up here and start, facing major league hitting and whatnot. But when you consider the fact that Erod's out for most, if not all, of the remaining season, and just not a whole lot of depth right now, I hope this works out. I really do. And like you said, David, we did give up a top prospect for him, so you kind of hope that you can salvage something. And if we can go deep in October and he can be a part of that, I think that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have him as a little bit a run here at the end. I don't think we re-sign him, even if he turns it around and, posts a 3 ERA the rest of the way. Money-wise, we want to sign other people, and he doesn't fit in the top 3, even 4, with Erod, probably being better than him at this point, and especially next year. So it'd be nice to get anything. He is facing, kind of another minor league lineup. I mean, Baltimore's really bad.
It's a Triple-A team.
It's a Triple-A team, and even guys like Chris Davis, it's there's better players in Triple-A than Chris Davis.
Absolutely.
There could be. Just one observation, though. One of Pomeranz's better starts this year was against the Yankees in New York. So I wouldn't necessarily count him out of the top 3 if we're playing the Yankees, for instance.
Like in a playoff series? Or just
in a playoff series. Really? I mean, it just...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think Price would still go over him just because it's, David Price or Pomeranz. Probably be Price on a short leash, maybe for Pomeranz, honestly.
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, anyone can really make a case over the last couple of months or make a case for them not to be. I mean, I could see Porcello just scuffling big time, and I hope he doesn't, but... I mean, he's one of the most fun pitchers to watch when he's on. And so, hopefully that's the case. But I don't know. And David Price, who knows? I mean, he could easily pitch his way out. He's got the Sunday night start coming up. And is that... Let's see, that's a week from this coming Sunday?
A week from today, the Sunday night start against the Twins? No, that's not right.
Yeah. I'll have to schedule up.
The next Sunday night game we have is against the Yankees at 8:05. Are you talking about that one?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that's the Price one. If everything went according to plan.
Yeah, that's August 5th. So it's 2 Sundays.
You know what? I'm not going to see that live. Yeah, because I'm going to be in Hartford all day, so it'll be one of those where I'm rushing home to get the podcast started.
You might not miss much.
Yeah, true. It might be.
Might be like the last.
It's probably too early to tell who he's going to be facing, but might not.
I know Sonny Gray's gaining interest from other teams, so what are the odds Sonny Gray's not even on this team at some point?
Really?
Yeah, I saw. Well, I read today there's a rumor that some teams have called on Sonny Gray because you could make the case that, say, I don't know, Texas, for example. Yeah, we'll give you Cole Hamels and we'll give you a prospect for Sonny Gray. I mean, if he's not going to work out in that team and he has attuned to a 5 ERA and he's going to go through arbitration, they might just want to scratch him and just take back, maybe a prospect or a lower end guy, Hamels, to help out to win right now. I could see it happening. I don't think it will, but I could see it. It wouldn't shock me completely.
I just don't think Texas is going to be competitive. I think Gray only has 2 years remaining, so...
He does. I meant like a team like that could. The Blue Jays. Blue Jays would be a perfect example, actually. They could use another pitcher. They could move J Happ. Next year their infield's going to be set. They would have Sonny Gray, Estrada, Stroman. So, I mean, they'd have 2 young, good potential pitchers. So, you get Roberto Osuna back next year. You don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's going to be back. So, they get a lot of interesting pieces next year. The Blue Jays are definitely going to win more games than next year for them.
Well, if you're looking at this year, I mean, I could see Seattle, Arizona, or the Dodgers maybe making a swing for the teams that are looking for immediate help.
Yeah, I just mean that, I feel like the Yankees have to get something back. They can't give them up for a prospect. They need a pitcher. They need a starter. And if a team like Arizona or LA or something like that's going to go out on a limb and take him, what are they going to offer back unless it's like a Rich Hill or Alex Wood, which I don't get why they even bother doing that.
True, yeah.
It'd be interesting. I just saw it today. It came across my timeline on Twitter, and
I find it to be a long shot. I mean, he's not ideal for their short or long term plans, but
he just doesn't seem like a guy that can pitch in a big market at this point.
No, exactly. I just feel like a lot of stars really have to align for that to work out the way the Yankees really need it to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it would be, but you never know. And I mean, like we were just talking about, David Price could pitch himself out of the lineup, but at this point, for the postseason, I'm talking about, there's no one really to take his spot. I almost rather have David Price over Velasquez, DJ, Pomeranz, who's looked awful this year. It almost might just be him by default at this point.
And it could be. It could be.